Om Tat Sat. Today we are going to talk about one of the most commonly chanted mantra, which is Asatoma Sadgamaya, Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya, Mrityorma Amritangamaya. And this is something which we chant almost every day at the end of our sadhana. In the Mutt also we are seeing that after the puja at the end we chant this. And then this is a very important mantra, but we don't know where it comes from, what is the source of this mantra, what is the meaning of this mantra, in how many ways this mantra has been interpreted. The same mantra, how it is useful for a karma yogi, the same mantra, how it is useful for a jnana yogi. There are so many aspects to this mantra. We chant this. There is a phalam for chanting anything, any mantra without knowing the meaning. But when we know the meaning and chant the mantra, it is something which is, has a very different effect. The growth, the spiritual growth or whatever we call it, the chitta shuddhi is much faster. And also, we are very consciously and awarefully chanting a mantra, and our mind does not get distracted by other things when we know the meaning and chant. Otherwise, we'll be chanting the mantra, but the mind will be somewhere else. But with meaning, when you chant, the mind is thinking of the meaning, and the vak is chanting the mantra. So it has definitely got a much better, effect on us. What it brings us, what phala it brings us, let us not bother. In all our sadhanas, let us not bother about what I'm going to get out of it. This is what I'm supposed to do. This is what I'm doing. And whatever phala comes, whenever it comes, it comes. It doesn't matter. I don't have any kind of a control over that. I can only contribute by doing what I'm supposed to do. So where does this mantra come from? Asatoma Sadgamaya. Why do I first and foremost, why do we call it a mantra? Because it is an Upanishad mantra. Because Asatoma Sadgamaya, this whole 3 lines are Upanishadic words. And they come from an Upanishad called as Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, the Prathama Adhyaya, the Tritiya Brahmana, and the 28th verse. So here the first Adhyaya and the 3rd Brahmana. In Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, the chapters are called as Brahmanas. In the 3rd chapter of the first Adhyaya and the verse number 28, it's a big verse. 28 is a very big verse. In that, the central portion of this particular 28th mantra is Asatoma Sadgamaya. And I will tell you later in what context it has been, told there, and how Bhagwan Shankaracharya is actually, giving us 2 meanings. One from the absolute Advaita point of view for a jnana yogi, and one from the point of view of karma and upasana for a karma yogi, upasana yogi. And now we are all quite well advanced in Vedanta because we have been listening to Vedanta for a long time. So I would like to start with what is the Vedantic meaning of Asatoma, and then go to the other one, the lower. Lower means not lower actually speaking, but the next step, that which is meant for the karma yogis and upasakas. Now, when we chant Asatoma Sadgamaya, Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya, Mrityorma Amritangamaya, what do we normally say? If you ask the meaning of that word, you ask anybody, everybody knows. Vachyartha, everybody knows. So they say, oh, take me from falseness to, the truth. From the false to the truth, you take me. Okay? Then from darkness, you take me to light. And then he says from mortality to immortality. This is a word to word meaning of that. Correct? But really speaking, we have to see 2 or 3 things here. Are these 3 lines of the mantra separate, or are these 3 lines of the mantra telling the same thing in 3 different ways? Okay, are they telling me the same thing in 3 different ways? That is what we have to see. And here we have to understand what is the meaning of asat to sat. What is the meaning from false, asat means false, false to the truth, asat to sat. And what is the meaning of darkness to light? And what is the meaning from death to immortality? What is the real meaning? What is the lakshartha of this particular verse that we have to very clearly understand? Now, I would like to tell you first that these three lines are not different, not having different three meanings. Though we superficially see that there are three different meanings given in each line, but ultimately it is one whole mantra which talks about only one thing. There is only one message in that entire, all the three lines, they mean the same. And how then the three different words are used, three sets of words, Sat, Asat, then Tamas, Jyotihi, and Mrityuhu, and Amritatvam. How then these six words, how can they talk about one common meaning? So that we'll see now how, what it really means. Okay, so here, from the point of view of Advaita Vedanta, which Bhagavan Shankaracharya himself later on clears it very clearly, but because this mantra comes in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad in the Upasana part, the first 5 chapters of Brihadaranyaka Upanishad are basically Upasana based. And in this, the first chapter, in the 3rd Brahmana, it's based on basically what is called as the Udgita Upasana. Udgita, about the prana and the Omkara, it deals with that. And in that portion, it comes, this mantra. And therefore, Bhagavan Shankaracharya says that the primary meaning of it we can interpret for the sake of a karma yogi and an upasana yogi also, but the actual lakshartha of this entire mantra is something else. Okay? So what is that something else which is the lakshartha? So first we'll deal with the lakshartha. Then you'll find it easier to understand what is the vachartha, what it really means. Now, asato, asataha, gamaya means what? Take me, lead me, me, lead me. Oh God, I'm praying, lead me from false to the truth, from falsity to the truth, or from unreality to reality. Now, what is this asat? What is this unreality? And what is this reality that it is being talked about here? So from unreality or asat to sat, what is the meaning of asat? What Bhagavan Shankaracharya says is, when you say asat, anything that which appears and disappears, anything which has a temporary existence, anything which is a vikari, anything which has the 6 bhava vikaras. We know the 6 bhava vikaras, all of us know. Asti, jayate, vardhate, viparinamate, apakshiyate, and vinashyati. So anything which has any of these things, if you have one of them, everything comes. Anything that has a birth goes through all the bhava vikaras and dies. Anything which is changing constantly is not permanent, it is anitya. It appears at a given time, disappears at a given time, so it is anitya. Therefore, what is it here that we are experiencing? That which is asat. The entire jagat is asat. We have already seen that. Jagan mithyatvam we have already seen. Brahma satyam jagan mithya. What is mithya? We have already seen. Asat here means not that which does not exist, no. It means that which exists, which seems to exist, which seems to have a temporary reality, which seems to give me a feeling that it is there at this time, but in reality, when you inquire, really it is not there. Let us take the example of sunrise and sunset. Vyavaharikataya, I can experience a sunrise, I can experience a sunset. But actually, paramarthikataya or absolutely, does the sun rise? Does the sun set? No. I say there is a blue dome of a sky. There is neither the blueness nor the domeness for the sky. But it is my experience. I am seeing it. I am experiencing it. Is it really there? No, it is not there. I see a rainbow. Rainbow is my real experience. I am experiencing it vyavaharikataya. That means what? It is there. But really speaking, what is it? It's a mere appearance. A rainbow, there is nothing solid there. It's a mere appearance. Any number of examples we can give. I look at my own image, reflection in the mirror. It is there. I use it to make up my face, to put on my bindi, to do everything. But really speaking, is it really there? No. It is only a vyavaharika, temporary appearance. So anything that is temporary, anything which appears and disappears, anything which is as though existing but which does not have reality of its own, that is called as asat or mithya. That means asmalar na malar as. Okay? Asa malakha asa na. Na bala na ita kapala magdista asa. How palaita asa. So the whole world is called asat. It is actually mithya. Mithya means what? That which is experienced but that which is really not. That which is as if, okay, vartate iva, as if it is there. Asti iva, as though it is there. But really speaking, there is no real astitvam for that. Therefore, that is what is called as asat. And what are we holding on to? We think that asat jagat, which appears and disappears, jagat in the form of people around me, objects around me, situations around me, and some of the things which I have, my name, my fame, my degrees, my ideas, my dogmas, my ideas, where I say so much of entanglement, ahankara and mamakara to this whole asat mithya universe. And what is it giving rise to? This mithya universe, my dependence on that, entirely dependent on that. Either because I do not know that it is mithya and there is something else which is the reality which I am missing. Naturally, when you miss the reality, you see something which is unreal. When you realize, when you see the reality, then you realize that what appeared so far is unreal. Since I don't know the Sat, what is that Sat? Sat Chitananda Atma, myself, my own Swarupam, consciousness, existence, I am not aware of it. I do not know it, though it is myself. What happens? I am missing the real and taking the unreal for real. This is what is called as a mistake. Miss something which is real and obvious, take something which is not real as obvious. Okay? So, that is what it is we call as the from asat to sat. Now, what are the dangers of this? When I am totally, constantly dependent upon something which is constantly flowing away from me. Can I hold sand in my hand? Can I hold air in my hand? It just flows away. The Jagat is also like that. Can I hold on to anything? Whatever I hold on to is just not there. Maybe it will be there with me for 5 years or 10 years, or it may not be there for even minutes. Isn't it? Nothing remains. I may be the best, most qualified and the most famous person in the world. After I die, after this body dies, what remains? Only that name remains. That too for maybe one generation. Somebody will remember there was so and so person called as so and so. That's all. After that, the second generation will not even know, that name also disappears. So whatever we are holding on to this Jagat as Satyam is really not Satyam, and that is Mithya. And holding on to this Mithya is the cause of my sorrow. It is the cause of my confusion. It is the cause of my moha. That was what was the Vishada of Arjuna. And that is the Vishada of all of us. Ahankara, mamakara. Because when you think that this whole thing that I am seeing is real, then naturally the ahankara mamakara comes. Correct? And I have missed the obvious. Therefore, this is a prarthana. Actually, Brihadaranyaka Upanishad calls this asatoma, these 3 lines, as a japa. At the end of all your sadhanas, at the end of all your karma and upasana, this is to be chanted as a japa. It has got the role of a japa. I can chant it as a japa, or even mental chanting, manasika, this karma as a japa. It can be done. So what is the meaning of this? I am praying to that Lord, let my life not be wasted on holding on to something which is constantly slipping away from my hands. And at the same time, let me not waste my life in not knowing the truth, going away without knowing the truth. Okay? Athached itha avedit, okay? Mahati vinashti. Na chet iha avedit, mahati vinashti, says the Kenopanishad. Okay? If you have not understood what the reality is, what you call reality, there are many names, let's not go into those details, then it's a waste of human life. Human life is meant to understand what is the truth, and that is what it is. So, na chet iha avedit mahati vinashti. It is ultimately a great waste of a human life. We don't know when we are going to get the next life conducive for continuing our studies. So, don't waste this time. So, what is this unreality? Hail, O God, hey Ishvara, at the end of my upasana, my prarthana is that I know that what I am holding on to is ephemeral, that which is really not there. But then I want to know the truth. And by knowing that truth, my hold on the anatma, mithya jagat, and my ahankara will loosen. And the purpose for which this very, very rare human birth has been given to me by grace of Ishvara. Ishvara Kripa is there. We all have the Shastra Kripa. We have the Guru Kripa. If we do not have the Atma Kripa, that I am not interested in going further. I don't want to know the truth. I am happy wherever I am, whatever I am doing. Why should I know? Why should I study Vedanta? No, I don't want to know that. This is the truth for me. Fine. Nobody is, Vedanta doesn't say you should, no guru forces Vedanta upon anybody. But this is it. So the prayer is that all these upasanas and karmas that I am doing, hey Bhagwan, I know that this is limited. The karma phala that I get out of karma and upasana, ultimately maximum it can give me Brahmaloka. But it cannot give me moksha. But then it is only that jnanam, atma jnanam, which can really make me understand what the absolute reality is. And hey Bhagwan, help me, lead me from my involvement and my holding on to this asat or mithya prapancha. Help me to go on to this satyam. Help me to understand this satyam. And when there is this real intention and prayer, Bhagwan will give me the Guru. Okay, either he will take me to the right Guru or bring the right Guru in front of me. If nobody is available, he will himself come like Krishna came to give this knowledge to Arjuna as a Guru. Therefore, asatoma sadgamaya means let my involvement and my, entanglement with the mithya jagat loosen, and let me be able to see that ultimate truth, understand what it is. So, hey Lord, it can be Guru also. Hey Guru, lead me from asat to sat. Make me understand what I am holding on to is asat. Make me understand that there is something beyond this mithya jagat, which is the real nature of myself, and help me. Then comes the help. So this is for the personal growth, asatoma sadgamaya. Now next line comes, tamasoma jyotirgamaya. Is it different from what we have seen? Tamas, darkness. Here what is the darkness? Darkness of ignorance. Tamas in Sanskrit, in Vedanta language, means ignorance. Ignorance of what? Ignorance that the Jagat is anityam. I do not know that now the Jagat is really, I think the Jagat is real. What it seems, it's real. That is my avidya. I do not know my reality. I do not know my real nature. That is avidya. Moola avidya. All of us are born with that avidya. Because once I get this body consciousness in that I am the body, I am the mind, body is real, mind is real, the real me is this body, the real me is this mind, the real thing is this Jagat, this is avidya. That which is masking the reality and projecting an unreal thing in front of me, that is what is called as avidya. And that avidya has to be literally, broken away. And what is the only way of getting out of avidya? By bringing the vidya in, or by bringing the knowledge in. If I want to get rid of the darkness in the room, I cannot fight with the darkness and send it, or I cannot chant any mantras and make the darkness go away. I have to simply bring light in. And without anything else, the darkness no longer exists. So here, Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya means that I am ignorant now. I am born ignorant. I do not know what is my reality. I don't know what is the reality of Jagat. What is the reality of Ishvara? Jiva, Jagat, Ishvara, I am transacting. I know, I feel I am an individual. I am interacting with other individual jivas. That is Jagat. And I am interacting with the so-called my idea of Ishvara. I have an idea. Each one of us have our own ideas about God. So with that, Jiva, Jagat, Ishvara, right now for me all three are different. Jiva, Jiva Bheda, Jiva, Jagat Bheda, Jiva, Ishvara Bheda, Jagat, Jagat Bheda, Ishvara, Jagat Bheda, like that 5 types of Bhedas are talked about. More and more divided we are, the more and more ajnanam it is. So we get more and more divided. So all these Bhedas, so what is it? Am I different from the other jivas? In what way is there something common in all of us? What is this Jagat ultimately? Is Jagat something which has just appeared from nowhere, Big Bang theory, this, that, whatever it is? Is there something which is running this universe, like what we saw yesterday? Is there something which is running this universe with this precision? If so, what is it? If there is something called as God or Ishvara who is in charge of both the Jiva and the Jagat, are we supposed to be God-fearing, or do we have to know that God? God-fearing, God doesn't expect us to fear Him. Ishvara doesn't expect fear from us. Knowing, Bhagwan Krishna says, Jignasu Bhakta. He wants all of us to be Jignasus. What's the meaning of Jignasu? Jnatum Ichha Jignasa. I want to know, who am I? Am I only this body mind? All these karmas that I am doing, all these upasanas that I am doing, all these struggles that I am doing, ultimately, what is the purpose of it? If I am here today, I must have been there millions of lives before also. I must have been there in millions of bodies before also. Isn't it? And what will happen? Again, I'll come back in some other body. That's all. This jiva will travel, come back in some other body. Isn't it? And what is it that is keeping me in this samsara? Samsara means what? Coming back again and again and again. Samsarati iti samsara. Keeps coming back again and again. Avartanam. Like Saregama Padanisa Sanidapa Magarisa. Like we practice, this is Avartanam. We keep coming back again and again in this world. It is that ignorance which is keeping me from really freeing myself. So what is that ignorance doing to me? This ignorance is making me feel that Asat is real and I am missing the Sat. See how it is connected, the first line and the second line. They are not different. So Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya means that ignorance which is making me blind towards the Satyam, that is Atma or Brahman or the reality, ultimate reality, and makes me think that that which is really not there as the reality, that is my ignorance. So how can I move from asat to sat? My ignorance has to be first removed, correct? So the effect is what? That asat is real for me. I have to move from asat to sat. For that, what should happen? Second step, ignorance. I should get out of ignorance. Knowledge should percolate into me. Knowledge should come to me. Then only I will understand Atma, Anatma, Viveka, Sat, Asat, Viveka. All that starts coming. So the second line also is indicating that if I have to travel from Asat to Sat, then I have to deal with my ignorance. Simply I cannot travel like that. It's not possible. I have to make an effort. I have to go to the Guru. I have to be committed to Vedas, committed to Vedanta. And that should be my priority. Vedanta doesn't say that stop everything, don't do anything, simply laze around. No. Vedanta says play your role. Lord Krishna played so many roles. Play your role. Whatever you are supposed to do because of your prarabdha karma, do that. But at the same time, let your mind be constantly on the goal called as moksha. That is your ultimate goal. Freeing myself from ignorance and understanding aham satyam jagan mithya is tamasoma jyotirgamaya. And when I go from darkness to light, automatically I am moving from asat to sat. Correct? Then the third line, mrityor ma amritangamaya. Mrityu means what? Death. What is immortality? Body is always mortal. Body can never be immortal. I am there in a body today. If not today, tomorrow, sometime, at its own time, the body will go. The body is not immortal. What is it that is immortal? It is me, I, the consciousness, the Atma that is immortal. And the more and more I am ignorant, with this tamas darkness of ignorance, and thinking and getting caught in the mithya or asat jagat, I am caught by mrityu. Okay? I am caught by mrityu. Mrityu means what? I am dying. Every moment the body is dying. Every moment the mind is, becoming weaker. So, ultimately, when I have this ignorance and when I cannot differentiate between Sat and Asat, then what happens? I am caught in the jaws of death. Death is for the body, we know that already. It is not, even the jiva travels. Forget about the Atma. Atma was neither born. It is ajaha, nityaha, shashvataha, puranaha, na hanyate, hanyamane sharire. We have seen that. So, death means what? Coming back again and again and again in some upadhi, in some form, again and again, some body. I don't know in next life which body this jiva is going to embody itself in. If lot of punya is done, maybe this jiva will go to higher lokas. But there also, how long it will stay? As long as your punya lasts. Because you are paying in the currency of punya. Once your punya currency is over, tetam bhuktva svargalokam vishalam kshine punye martyalokam vishanti. It may not even be martyalokam, it may be adholokam also, patala, rasatala, talatala, patala, it could be anything depending upon whatever it is. So that means, doesn't mean that we have to come back on this earthly existence only. This jiva will travel, go on traveling from one loka to the other, and in each upadhi it will suffer. Isn't it? Ignorance will continue. It's only in the human body, in this human upadhi, at least I have got, Bhagavan has given me the capacity to discriminate, the capacity to choose my purushartha. Whereas in all other jivas, they cannot select their purusharthas. Even devatas cannot. That's why it's called purushartha. Purushartha nischaya is possible only in a human body, in a human intellect. What do I want? I want dharma, artha, kama, or do I want moksha? Do I want material existence or do I want to go beyond this? This choice of Purushartha is there only in the human life. That is why Bhagavan Krishna tells Arjuna, make that Purushartha Nishchaya first. First you make your Nishchaya, what you want, and then you have to go accordingly. Otherwise, if you don't know what you want, Purushartha means a human pursuit. Which is that pursuit I want? I want moksha as my Purushartha, or I am satisfied with dharmartha kama, material Purushartha, which Bhagavan Yama in Kathopanishad calls as preyo marga, shreyo marga. You want preyas or you want shreyas? What is it that you want? You have the choice, correct? And when I don't make the right choice, and when I still go after with ignorance and with, thinking asat to be be all and all of life. Asat means the mithya jagat, the ever perishing, ever changing, ever disappearing jagat as the constant support of me. If I take support in that I am going to come back again and again and again into the mortal universe. Mortality means that. Mrityu means that. Mrityu is not connected to this body as such. The Sukshma Sharira leaving the Sthula Sharira is called Mrityu for this life. That's it. But this Sukshma Sharira or Jiva keeps coming back again and again and again in millions of upadhis till I understand this. Aham Satyam, Aham Brahmasmi iti, that Parakashta Paragatihi. Till I have understood this, there is no question of immortality. Immortality does not mean that I in this form will remain for millions of years. No, it's not like that. There are only very few Chirajivis who are there all the time, like Bhagavan Hanuman and all that, but they are all exalted jivas. We will not talk about them. We will talk about ourselves, the common people. None of us can become immortal. One day we have to. What is the meaning of immortality? We have to understand very well. What is the meaning of Mrityu? We have to understand very well. Coming back again and again in different upadhis, in different universes, in different fields of experience, and again creating a karmic cycle for myself, coming back again next life because of my karma phala, there again doing again some more karmas, coming back again, adding on to my sanchita karma, that huge pile of sanchita karma, go on adding every time. Okay, that is mrityu. Just the death of the body is not mrityu. Amritam means this I realized, and once and for all, iha, yeva, here and now. That's why it is called as Jivan Mukti or Sadhyo Mukti. The minute I have understood this, Aham Satyam, what is my reality, what is the reality of Ishvara and Jagat, when that knowledge has happened, it's an immediate removal or immediate going away of the darkness by the light of knowledge. And what does this do, this light of knowledge? It makes me realize that I'm not a limited mortal body mind sense complex, but I am the unlimited Ananta Purna Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta Atma Ahamasmi. That is immortality. Not dying is not immortality. Dying body, death is only to the body, physical body, to the Sthula Sharira alone. So Mrityu means not coming back as a jiva again and again. The jivatvam is gone completely. I am Brahman, but I have fallen from my Brahmatvam and I have taken jivatvam as my reality. And what is immortality? I have realized that I am not jiva and I have ascended to my Brahmatvam. That is called as immortality. So ultimately, asatoma sadgamaya, tamasoma jyotirgamaya, mrityorma amritamangamaya, all of me, all the three lines are connected and they are giving me only one message. Only one message. Let me know the truth of myself and let me be free to understand. Know how to be free? Understanding. I cannot be free by merely Nothing has bound me really. I have bound myself. The world is not binding me. Do I have anything binding me here? Nothing. The world does not bind me. I bind myself to the world. The world is not binding me. There are no hooks here. There are no chains here. Nothing is binding me. I am binding to the world. And I feel that the world binds me. But I am the one who's binding because of, ignorance. I feel that this world gives me all that I want. Yes, it gives also sometimes. It gives me happiness also. It gives me so many things also. But they are not lasting. We have seen that they just go away. They are just not there at all. Therefore, what is binding me to the world is my ignorance. The world is not binding me in any way. The world is not calling me, come and get to sing. Then alcohol bottle doesn't call me, come and drink me. I go there and drink it. Okay? The cigarette doesn't call me, come. I go there and then I smoke. So, what is binding what? I am binding myself to the world, thinking that the objects of the world, the situations of the world, the people of the world are going to give me happiness. Let us do our duties in the world, whatever are our duties. If I am a grahastha, if I have a family to take care of, if I am a teacher, if I am a professional, duties to take care of, that is because of I am born with my prarabdha of playing this role in the universe. Let me play it with the attitude of karma yoga. I am not the doer. I am only an instrument. Bhagwan is doing it. My prarabdha is Bhagwan's sankalpa. Bhagwan's sankalpa is going on because I am just an instrument. I am not the doer. Ahankara dilutes, as I said yesterday. The kartrutvam goes. The ahankara mamakara becomes less. Chitta shuddhi, chitta naischalyam. Naturally, jnana yogyata prapti comes. And the ultimate knowledge is this. That is the only thing which frees me. So from the absolute point of this mantra, which is also explained as japa by Bhagwan Shankaracharya, now this is actually the core meaning of this entire mantra. Core meaning. This is a mantra. It's a core meaning. But then in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, in the first chapter, lot of upasanas are being talked about. Omkara upasana, prana upasana are being talked about. And here, in this asatoma sadgamaya, tamasoma jyotirgamaya, mrityorma amritam gamaya, Bhagwan Shankaracharya gives another interpretation which is not for a jnana yogi but for a karma yogi and upasaka. Asatoma sadgamaya means, hey Lord, prevent me from doing wrong actions, let me move from wrong actions to right actions. Wrong karmas to right karmas. Wrong types of upasanas to right types of upasanas. Okay, then tamasoma jyotirgamaya. May you, O Lord, may you give me the capacity to discriminate what is wrong and what is right. And let me be able to go from my wrongdoings to the right doings for Chitta Shuddhi. Let my karma and let my upasana be the right thing that I am doing. And in the right way that I am doing. Let there be no mistakes on my part in my karma and upasana. And Mrityorma Amritangamaya means what? Ultimately for a karma yogi and an upasaka, what is the ultimate phalam? Hiranya Garbha Prapti or Saguna Brahma Prapti or Brahma Loka Prapti for what? Krama Mukti. There is no Sadhyo Mukti there. A karmi, that is a karma yogi and an upasaka, ultimately what happens? They go through the Shukla Gati. We have seen that in the 8th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Shukla Gati Dvarena, that is karma yogi upasaka, ultimately reaches the highest realm that can be there in these 14 lokas, Brahma Loka Prapti, and there this jiva has the possibility of Krama Mukti. Krama Mukti is also possible there. So, Bhagwan Shankaracharya there in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, in the first chapter, in the 3rd Brahmana, in the 28th verse, talks about the second aspect of it, that which is meant for a karma yogi. But later on in other places, what exactly is the ultimate meaning, the Advaita, the ultimate, what you call as the core meaning, or the Lakshartha, the ultimate Lakshartha. So from the Veda Purva point of it, from the Vedanta point of it, how this mantra, so this mantra is beneficial as a japa to all of us, all the sadhakas. For a karma yogi also for chitta shuddhi, for an upasana yogi also for chitta naishchalyam, and jnana yogyata prapti, and for the jnana yogi for the ultimate blessing of this knowledge, that this knowledge will work in this intellect which is prepared for this. So this is actually the meaning of asatoma sadgamaya, tamasoma jyotirgamaya, mrityorma amritam gamaya. The three lines are not different. They are all pointing to the same thing. They are not three different sadhanas. They are not three different instructions. They are the three lines pointing towards the same end, either as for a karma yogi or for an upasana yogi or for a jnana yogi. This is the total meaning. All the three lines are pointing to one end, pointing only to the one result of this. This is the actual meaning of asatoma sadgamaya tama, because we chant it every day, we say. But how many of us really know what it means? And with what kind of a feeling we have to chant it? What should be in our mind? What should be the sankalpa? What should be in my heart when I chant it? We mechanically chant it, but then without knowing what really it is. Because all these mantras, they have a lakshartha which is so deep that when understood, it makes a lot of sense for us. Otherwise, it looks as if, okay, very, like just chanting something. Many times mind is thinking of something, we say asatoma sadgamaya, just at the end of it, we are closing our books and looking at the time and asatoma sadgamaya, we are chanting that. It is because we are used to doing that, it becomes a part of a, what you call as a practice. It's a part of that we are doing. But do we really mean it when we say that? No, we are making preparations to get up and go. And that is the time we are chanting this. So I thought I should make this, what is asatoma sadgamaya, what it really means and how deep the meaning is. And before I stop, I want to just say about yesterday, by mistake I said something which stands to be corrected. Yesterday I said, in the context of Brahma Sutra Bhashya being written by Shankaracharya, by mistake or oversight I said Gaudapada. It is not, it is Vyasacharya. Because Vyasacharya is actually the writer or the author of Brahma Sutra, and it is Vyasacharya who realizes that the Brahma Sutra that he wrote is being completely misinterpreted, and it is Vyasacharya who appears to Bhagwan Shankara and asks him to write a bhashyam for that. And by mistake I said Gaudapada, which I realized later. Gaudapada also comes in Shankaracharya's life, but asks him to write a commentary on his Mandukya Karika. Because Mandukya Karika, written by Gaudapada, to write a commentary, Bhagwan Gaudapadacharya comes for that. But when I talked about Brahma Sutra, it is Vyasacharya, because Vyasacharya is the one who is the author of Brahma Sutra. So please correct that if any of you have made notes. It's Vyasacharya and not Gaudapadacharya in that context. Okay, I think we'll stop with this. Om Tat Sat. We'll do the Sabha Samapti Prarthana. Nandantu sadhaka sarve vinashyantu vidushakaha avastha shambhavi mestu prasannostu gurus sada sarve bhavantu sukhinaha sarve santu niramayaha sarve bhadrani pashyantu ma kaschid dukham apnuyat. Om Shanti Shanti. Om Tat Sat. Parvati Pataye Har Har Mahadev.